Hey guys, my name is Mario and this is my guide on how to install FlippyDrive. I know it's long, I wish it was shorter, but I usually get into detail on stuff, and as of this moment, as of today, May 21st and May 20th, the day before, whenever I was making the video, the documents are not complete yet, so also towards the end of the video I'll show you what you need to do if you have the deluxe kit like I do. I have, first of all, my GameCube is the DOL101 model, the one that just has one video port, the analog audio video port, no digital port. But this is the deluxe one that also has the Ethernet port to it also. So I'll show you what direction you need to plug that into and what orientation you need to have the stuff plugged into. On top of that, the next thing you're going to need is a GameCube, obviously with that all these on there, but you'll need a GameCube. I will mention on here, I think I may have mentioned it at the end of the video too, but sorry for the green screen. Because it's made by two guys, sending over 1,000, maybe close to 2,000 of the flippy drives to other people that bought the product. I know they accidentally sent me the backplate for a different model of GameCube than the one I have, but that is completely fine. I'm not going to be mad by it because I love the flippy drive. Other than that, I think I also mentioned I just used my utility knife to cut the shape out for the digital port to make the analog one fit in there, but I'm not going to. Besides that, to open it up, and unless you want to buy the screwdrivers elsewhere, I just went to my local Best Buy, and I already bought this already, but you should be able to get the Manta Precision Bit set. It's going to have not only tri-wing screwdrivers for any of the newer consoles that you might have that are Nintendo based, but this also has the GameBit. The one that you will need to open up your GameCube is going to be the bigger of the GameBits, which is the 4.5 millimeter. That should be near the top right. That should be that one right there. And you'll need two different Phillips head sizes. I think the smallest one and the biggest one, which I think it was Phillips head 0 and Phillips head 2. Something like that. Anyway, as far as I know, that's all that you need on there. If I miss anything, I'm going to make sure I have all the links down in the description below. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below, and I will read them and respond back as soon as I can. Right? Other than that, on to the video. Okay, I'm gonna use this. First of all, if you have a Game Boy player, you're gonna want to take that out first. Really? How'd you tighten yourself back? Okay, no need for me to eject my game that I have in there. Let's sit that down off to the side. So now that we're in here, what I need now is the GameBit, which I forgot which one was the GameBit. I haven't actually used it except for on my Nintendo 64, but once before. GameBit. Okay, so it looks like a star on the inside. Where in the world? Oh, there it is. So, I believe this is the GameBit that we're looking for, and I don't know how close I am to the camera. Here, I'll try to show it to you guys just in case. So this is a GameBit. Oh, come on, focus. There we go. Almost looks like a 6 6-sided star bit. Okay. So we're going to, I guess I don't need the giant screwdriver. Good thing. I always thought I was going to have to use my tiny one. It's going to be 4 of those. There, 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 and there. Is this screwdriver really preventing me from not getting it? I really hope that's not the case. It should fit. Oh, there's 2 different sizes. So, I stand corrected. There's a 3.8 and a 4.5. I'm pretty sure it's the 4. Yep, it's the 4.5. It's the bigger one, not the smaller one. Okay. It's also thunder outside. Okay. Moment of truth. Now, whenever you put this back on, you're going to want to make sure you leave this lid open. Whenever you put it back on, otherwise, I heard you can ruin the button's under there somewhere. Wow. Never thought I would ever open up my GameCube. Alright. Perfect. I might dust this off a little bit. For this thing being 20 years old, I think I've kept it in pretty good condition. Okay, so we got that down there. Next thing is there's going to be some screws under the fan right here. I'm trying to remember. I should have pulled this up to remember how many screws there are, but they're all Phillips head, so you can use different size Phillips heads. I'll go ahead and do that. You know, since all these are the same size, normally I don't like grouping them together. I should have known. They said 0, 1, and 2. Phillips head number 2 is going to be the biggest. 0 is going to be the smallest in this case. Also, this is not sponsored by anybody. It'd be cool if it could be sponsored by somebody someday. Okay, I'm going to be very careful as I take this apart. Oh, well, here's the other perk of having the iFixit kit is that you have a little magnet to pick up screws that you accidentally drop down in there. Okay, I'm going to try to keep these in the order that I'm taking them out, just because I like to know where stuff was taken out at. Okay, and I'll probably speed through this part for you so you guys aren't going to sit through a long video of me just trying to take this apart. And I forgot to mention, you're going to want to you want to make sure you do not disconnect the wire from here to here, otherwise it's going to reset the clock on here. So whatever you do not disconnect this ribbon cable, just lay this down kind of like that. You don't want to mess anything up on here. Kind of almost iffy on sitting it like that. Okay. Anyways, let's continue. Especially while I also pull the guide back up because I don't want to mess this up. So you got 5 screws right here. You got 1, 2, 3 screws in the back. And then 1, 2 right here. Once we get to the 2 right here to hold the fan down, there's going to be, I think, 4 more right under that. Oh, besides taking the front and just laying it down, keeping it connected, you'll also want to take the back cover off, because they made their own cover for it that you can put on the back. So I'll lay that down too. I'll try to lay that off to the side. Okay. now that we move the fan out of the way, there's 3 screws right under there. But I'm also going to get these 4 in the back first before I continue on, because I do not want to forget about them. There's going to be 4 more right here, right in the front, that you're going to take off also. So, as long as I don't break that too. This is where the 0 size would come in handy. Long screws. Okay, perfect. So now we could set those off to the side. Now we should be able to lift this whole entire thing off like that. Disk drive. Set this right over here. Set it under there. Okay, so this right here, that's where the disk drive would attach right there, if you still have one. And it's great if you still have one. That's the method that they prefer you use. So now that we got it off, here's the contents of what's inside of here, of what you're going to need is to get this ready. So get everything out of there. All right, I love the artwork that they did on here. Okay, so we've got our ribbon cable. We've got the Ethernet port. I chose the deluxe pack with the Ethernet port, so I think they were just adding support for it also. Got that. This right here, this is for you to put over the ribbon cable in here if you don't have a disk drive. I still have mine, and I still plan on keeping mine in there, and that's what they recommend. So this little cover is going to go right back in the box. This is the main thing right here that you're going to put in here. And this is what's going to hold the flippy drive. Now, I made sure I bought the right one. This could have just been something that they made, but I know this one has the port on there as if you have a digital port. So I don't think I should have any problems with this. But let me make double sure, because it is kind of angled a tiny bit differently. So hopefully this lid will work. Because if not, that's going to be a problem. Okay, so that's going to be a problem. They did such a nice job of making it look like it was supposed to. And yet, the one port I need is over here on this side. I need just that port. I might have to make some slight modifications to it myself. So, I will be back in a minute. Okay, so I'm back. I definitely did not have to take a 45-ish minute or 30-minute detour. And let me just preface this. You do not, I repeat, you do not need to do what I just did. I must have either bought the wrong one for the other model, because I have a DOL 1-101 model. This is the newer one that doesn't have the digital component cable output. It only has the analog audio video output. But I didn't want to have to send it back because I bought this August of last year. It's been 9 months. So best thing I can think of, if you have the proper tools,
and you either get the wrong one, or because it's just two great guys that made a great product for this, and you're wanting to use their backboard with the Ethernet port, use a proper tool to do this if you have to. But like I said, I repeat, you do not need to do this. I did this because I wanted to actually put this in there. Even though I'm probably not going to use the Ethernet port as much, I still want to put it in there. Other than that, let's get back to what we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and put this on there. The reason why I had to shave that anyways is because the analog audio video port is, well, apparently bigger in size compared to the digital audio video one. Either way, I probably should have looked at the directions a little bit better. The FlippyDrive is going to go right here, right on this side. And what we'll do is we'll take one of the RF shield screws and put it right here, right there in that as a storage. Which means my brain cannot think. So we'll just take, it's gonna go right here. Yeah, we'll take that one, because that one's gonna be covered up. So we'll just put that one right there. Nope, we're gonna put it right there. Okay. If they do ever make another revision of this, I would love to see. I mean, obviously, I know it was just two guys in there. We're limited on resources. Be cool to see in, like, maybe one of the next revisions in the future, like some of those, whatever you call it, what some devices will have inside of them. They'll have those. I forgot what they're called. They're usually gold colored. Thread. They have like threaded parts, threaded inserts, or that's what I'm going to call it right now because I don't remember the actual name to it. Okay, shouldn't have to screw that hard into it. If it did have that type of thread insert, it'd probably be a little bit easier. But other than that, we got the storage for that one. Okay, so now's the part where we're going to take this and flip it the correct direction. So make sure when you're folding it, the arrow is going to face this way, because it's going to go like this. You do not want to crease it like you're making an airplane. Just bend enough like this. And I'm just making sure I am following along on the lines. Okay, so if you can kind of see where this goes up at an angle, besides that, okay, so the arrow side, that's going to go up like this. That's going to kind of go up like that. Something for this side. You don't want to crease it like an airplane, but you want to make sure it has a pretty good fold, and I accidentally misfolded that one a tiny bit. Ooh. But I love this project, nonetheless. Okay. So, all in all, that should be all the folds you need to do. Is right there, there, and there. And you'll just put it like, and make sure you fold it up like this. And do it like that. And the arrow is going to face towards, if you're looking at the front, it's going to face out that way. So make sure you put this in there. So the whole thing is going to go down in there to touch the connector pieces on both sides. So I'm going to make sure that arch stays up in the middle. Okay, so once it gets in there, it's going to look like that. So I'm trying to think if I could zoom in. This is not the best ideal camera angle I was hoping for you guys, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for right there. The arch is still up in the middle, and it's going to stay in contact with the other parts. Okay, so now the part that's next is the flippy drive itself. This is a lot smaller than I was thinking. I don't have the biggest hands. Also, I should preface this. This should only take 10 to 15 minutes, but I like taking my time to make sure I'm doing everything right, because I don't want to miss a step. I also need to get this micro SD card out, although I don't think I'm going to need the micro SD card right away, because I think I heard it has Cube Boot pre-installed, so let's actually not use the micro SD card yet. So, with my not very big hands, here's the flippy drive. Yep. Okay, with 4 tiny little screws that come with it. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. So, on the right front part of your shield of this that we took off earlier, you're going to want to make sure that this has a gap in it. That way, this flex cable can go right through that. So, before you even do that, you're going to make sure that now you're going to have to make sure first that you get all this down. So actually, before you do that, the arrow, you're going to fold all this down to where the text right here and the arrow are going to face towards the back. And so you're going to flip that over and do the same thing with that without creasing it like an airplane. I don't think it said. Okay. Yeah. So do that. So now we'll make sure that this, after you flip it down, that you put it right here. Because now is the fun part. We're going to go ahead and put this back on. Okay, and make sure that as you're putting this back on, that you don't damage the cord at all. You do not want to damage it, otherwise it won't continue to work if you do. Okay, I'm going to put that back on in a minute. Alright, so I would say start sliding it up a little bit before. And that. Perfect. Flippy drive ribbon cable is secured in there now. And if you didn't obviously have the drive, that's where you use that little piece that I put back in the box. Okay. So on the flippy drive, on this side, not the front where it says Rev 6 flippy drive, but the other side, where this plate right here doesn't have any text. You're going to make sure that this little black bar, you're going to want to make sure that you don't flip it back down, that it's flipped up. It might be kind of hard to tell. You're going to want to make sure that's in the right direction. So, and then as you do that, I may have missed a step. No, never mind, I did not miss a step. So, we're going to make sure that's up. Now it's the fun part. We're going to go ahead and mount this on here first. So, go ahead and put these screws back on there. It's going to be easier for you to do it this way with the non-leveled side right here. It's in this direction. You're going to want to attach this riveting cable right here. I'm just making sure it's still recording, which it is. 12%. I'm pushing it on the front. So you're going to want to make sure that this little flap is turned up, which it is. Push it right into the small gap. Once you get almost all that yellow in there, when, as long as it doesn't slide out, that's when you push that down. Perfect. So that's how close you're going to get it in there. Now is where we'll attach it to this right here. Okay, so we should just have okay, so perfect. So I guess they gave you 2 extra screws. You only need 2, not all of them. Where did I put the little bag? Okay, so you have 2 extra screws in case you need them. Awesome, I like that. Don't need 2 of them. I just now realized I also forgot to put the Ethernet port in there. Okay, so I'm going to assume that will probably go that direction. Actually, you know what? Let me wait on that. We'll set the Ethernet port and that off to the side. So we got, before I accidentally damage that, let me go ahead and use the small Phillips head 0. You know what? Move my chair out of the way for now, for you guys. We're gonna go ahead and mount this. Well, I say we're gonna mount it, maybe. It's gonna be a very tight fit. There we go. Can't believe I got that on my first try. Don't tighten it up all the way. We'll go ahead and attach the other one. Okay, perfect. So now, oh, I guess they were determined that you aren't going to have the fan plugged in, but yeah, that's okay. I don't know which direction to plug that Ethernet port in. Okay, so before you put the top back on, we're going to plug this in and test it to make sure it actually works correctly. So it says it should load the FlippyDrive bootloader if we did it right the first time. I'm going to use my wireless controller. Let's see. Since I don't have my my Nixie Warrior plugged in, we'll just use this way to make double sure this will work. Okay, so I'll see you guys in a second. So, before you completely assemble it back together, it's said for you to hook it up to a display to make sure it installed correctly. So, if you do that, you're going to power it on and hold down X. Wait until the installation is finished. Once it is, you press start and then you can turn it off. So let's test it out really quick. This is going to be kind of interesting because I am holding a tripod. So let's see how well this works. And of course it's on the other input. Recovery complete, press start to continue. Great. I'm not holding it on any buttons right now. Q bootloader. Yes. Awesome. Okay. Q bootloader. I like that now. Okay, so now there's different modes you could go through, which I'll go through those with you guys in a minute once I get that put back together. But that is awesome. Okay, see you guys soon. Some of the things that I didn't go over in the video when I recorded this yesterday that I'm going to go over with you right now is, first of all, because it's just made by 2 people, and I'm not going to say that this is a con for it because, like I said, 2 people. Sending it to over 1,000 people. I don't remember the number on Crowd Supply or Team Off Broadway's website, but they have a whole lot of them, and I saw that I wasn't the only one. But like I said, I got the Ethernet Deluxe kit that has the Ethernet port on it. I have the GameCube that's a DOL101, which is, I may have said in the earlier part of this video that that's the difference between Japan and American ones. I don't remember. The main difference between that is whether or not it has a digital audio port or just a typical analog audio video port. I only have an analog audio video port. So if I would not do what I did, but I didn't want to have to take the time to send it back to them because I feel like that would just be a waste of their time, my time to get the right part. What I did, I took something just like a utility knife I had, and I shaved the port where that would be a component cord port right there, because it's smaller than the typical analog one. So just so I could fit that through that hole. And let's see if I can show it to you a little bit closer, so you can see what I mean. It's not pretty. I know it won't ever look pretty, but hey, it's a project that somebody was working on together, and I love it. Either way, that's what I had to do with that. And as of this moment, on May 21st, 2025, they don't have any documentation for the Ethernet port yet. So here is what I'm going to show you so you know on how to hook it up and how to get it to work. So first of all, when you're doing the Ethernet port, you're going to want to make sure on this ribbon cable there's blue text. It's kind of hard to
tell, there's blue text that's going to face inwards towards the GameCube. So this white blank side will be facing outwards away from the GameCube. Along with that, it's going to go in that right here next to the flippy drive, inside of there. Make sure it's not kinked or sideways or anything like that. And you're going to want to try to put the cable on the Ethernet port if you have the deluxe kit like mine before you try and put this on. Now you might have some trouble like I did whenever I was trying to put it in here. Like I forgot which part of the GameCube that was. Actually, you know what? That might tell it whether or not the lid is open. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that helps tell if the lid's open right there. So that mechanism is going to be kind of tight to get that Ethernet port down in there. I kind of had to... I didn't add any pressure to it, but I had to kind of jiggle. If this thing would ever focus, so I could show you, I had to kind of jiggle that port, the metallic part kind of in between the brown right there to get it to fit under it. On top of that, whenever you do put the back plate, and the Ethernet adapter together, it's going to be a really tight fit because I don't know what type of 3D printed plastic this is. It's not typical plastic that's very bendable. So I used my same utility knife to kind of push it, or whenever I was pushing down on the metallic part of the Ethernet port, I was pushing down, I had to kind of jiggle my utility knife in there and kind of bend it that way as I'm pushing it just so I could get in there. That way I don't have a chance of breaking the black clamp plastic around that Ethernet port holding this in there. Other than that, once you get it in there, this is going to be kind of long, so as you're putting the top back on it, first of all, make sure you have this open. Otherwise, you do not want to make it the mechanism mess up. And I see now why it says to have the lid open, because of that right there. There's a flap. So what you're going to do is you're just going to make sure everything lines up correctly. And then I just did mine like this, where I'm going to push it. And make sure that lines up with the back. Now, if you can get it on the right direction, you might have to push this back plate in a little bit just so it'll get on there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll have more documentation on the rest of it, like the desktop app. I actually found they actually do have a desktop app. It's a work in progress. I'm wondering if there's a way where you can send game files that you have directly to the GameCube, like transfer them to the micro SD card. I don't know if that's a thing. I know you can play them over the network, which I haven't tested out yet. I'm going to wait until they get more documentation out on it. Yeah. Other than that, should be all good to go. You don't need a micro SD card the very first time you set it up, like you saw earlier on here, but it would be handy to have one in there, especially to create a config.ini file. If you're on a Windows computer, make sure you, on Windows Explorer, assuming you have Windows 11 or Windows 10 or any other version, make sure you turn on file name extensions. I always find that handy because I hate whenever they hide them. Because if they're off and you try to name it that way, say if you try to name a new text file, config.ini, it's just, in reality, you're creating config.ini.txt, which is not handy. Regardless. Yeah. That's how you put the Ethernet port in. I don't know if I'm going to be using that just yet because there's not anything. They're making more documentation on it right now, but it's not on their website. I just remember seeing a blurry screenshot that one of the mods had put up on the Discord chat, but at least I was able to make it out. Other than that, whenever you do start up for the first time, it was kind of a bad angle.
that I was showing y'all. But what you're gonna do is, whenever you turn it on, just hold down X, and then it will load up QBoot, which is pre-installed on the FlippyDrive's Pico board. After that, you turn it off, and by default, anytime you turn it on, without pressing anything, it will do the load up screen, and then it'll go to the QBoot loader menu, like as if whenever you used to hold down A to get to the menu, and then you can change the time, go to the calendar, and then you can start again from there. That's basically where QBoot loader's showing up at. The pass-through mode and enhanced playthrough mode. Pass-through mode, I believe that was, there's pure pass-through mode. So basically, you're playing it like a normal GameCube, like you didn't mod it at all. So it won't activate the FlippyDrive if you hold down L when you turn on the GameCube. Whenever you hold down R, that enables enhanced pass-through. So ignore what I called them a second ago. Enhanced pass-through, so if you have config.ini set up, which I will put the link to where I found that page on docs.flippydrive.com, and you don't have to have every setting in there, just a few certain settings. Basically, enhanced pass-through mode means it will apply region-free settings, so you could play like a Japanese GameCube game on a North American GameCube, which is great. Not only that, it'll read with appropriate video and region-free settings applied. Great. Normal mode, if you don't press anything, it'll go to QBoot menu, or if you have your own loader instead of QBoot, they're saying if you have a boot.dol file on the root of your micro SD card on the FlippyDrive, then it'll use that instead. I'm going to use QBoot because I like QBoot and I've never modded the GameCube before. Yeah. Other than that, I love this thing. It works wonderful. If I missed anything, I'm going to make sure I put it in the description down below. If you do have questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm learning as I go along with this. This is not a perfect video. This is long, and I'm sorry about the camera angle yesterday. I'm going to start using my GoPro instead, because I was thinking my phone was just going to get in the way. So I had it sitting at a weird angle yesterday. But hopefully, no matter how long it was, you guys still enjoy it, because I like having video walkthroughs instead of just reading something. So yeah, other than that, I will sit back in my chair now instead of off to the side. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button down below. Lets me know you guys like the video and you want to see me do videos like this more often. And I'll also put the links to Team Off Broadway's Discord, along with the website, with the documentation if you prefer reading the documents and the pictures that they have loaded up already with instructions. They don't, like I said, at this moment on May 21st, they don't have instructions on Ethernet port live, but they're in development. Yeah, that website will be on there too. I'll probably put a link to their crowd supply page. I think you could still buy one. It'll be a while. Since it's back down to 2 people, I bought mine August of last year, and I just got it in the mail this Monday, the 16th. But yeah, it was worth the wait, and I will never complain about anything. The website I know will also talk about what file formats will work on the micro SD cards, so I believe .iso is one of the main file formats I'm going to be using on here. There's no documentation on how to do the backups yet, or at least it talks about it, but I'm going to learn it as I do it. So either way, I've rambled too long. Anyways, if you aren't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and then hit the bell icon, change it from personalized to all. That way you guys can get notified when I do a video, when I upload a video or do a live stream. And yeah, so as always guys, Thank you so much for watching my video. Bye bye.